जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्री श्रीताई गौरांग भगवान की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 7, Text 48. Visargadya Shmashananta Bhavadehasya Natmana Kalanam Iva Chandrasya Kalena Vyaktavartmana. Visargadya Smashananta Bhavadehasya Natmana Kalena Vyaktavartmana. Visargadya Smashananta Bhavadehasya Natmana Kalanamiva Chandrasya Kalena Vyaktavartmana. Smashana, the time of death, when the body is burned to ashes. Anta, ending with Bhava, the states. Dehasya, of the body. Not. Na, not. Atmana, of the soul. Kalana, of the different phases. Eva, as. Chandrasya, of the moon. Kalena, by time. Avyakta, imperceptible. Vartmana, this movement. The various phases of one's material life, beginning with birth and culminating in death, are all properties of the body and do not affect the soul. Just as the apparent waxing and waning of the moon does not affect the moon itself, such changes are enforced by the imperceptible movements of time. Purport. The body undergoes 6 changes: birth, growth, maintenance, production of byproducts, dwindling, and death. Similarly, the moon appears to grow, diminish, and finally disappear. Since moonlight is a lunar reflection of sunlight, it is understood that the moon itself does not grow or diminish. Rather, we perceive the reflection of the moon in various phases. Similarly, the eternal soul is not born, nor does it die. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, na jayate mriyate va kadachit. We perceive the reflection of the soul in the form of the gross material body and subtle mind, which undergo various material changes. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, the sun is a fiery planet and the moon is a watery planet. This is also confirmed by Srila Jiva Goswami and further illustrates the ignorance of modern science about the actual nature of the moon. Om Dhyanatibrahmasya Dhananjanasanatya Chakshurum Tamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Bhuta Tadavayam Dadati Svapradatam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sarvachatam Sahaganaradhanadham Tam Suchindam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaganalalita Shri Vishakamitasha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacharine Nirvishesha Shundavadi Pashatadeshatari Namo Mahamadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauraprashe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Ilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatayam. Hare Krishna. So all over the world, since yesterday, there is mega celebrations because the new year, 2026, and everybody is greeting everyone, Happy New Year. Wish you a Happy New Year. Right? But when you read the pages of Bhagavatam, every year when it moves forward, it actually sobers your consciousness. Because 2025 moved to 2026, and I didn't even realize how fast it happened. It was as if it was yesterday. So Bhagavatam says, with every rising of the sun and with every setting of the sun, the rising of the moon, setting of the moon, one day is stolen from your life. And moving into another year means one more year has been stolen from your account. And we are moving towards what it says here is Visarga Adya Shmashana Anta. We are moving towards Shmashana. So now when Bhagavatam gives a purview, the whole New Year concept changes. Just like if you put a person in a car, technically we have ahankar, but you put a person in a car and you don't allow the person to get out of the car ever. And you fit a time bomb in it. Right? You fit a time bomb in a car and you put the person inside and he can hear the time ticking. Tick, 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 tick. But when the time bomb is going to blast, that he cannot see. But the passage of day and night and whatever is happening, the time is ticking constantly and he is moving. And he does not know what is the hour, what is the day, and what is the month, and what is the year that it's going to explode. That is not known to you while you're in the car, fit with a time bomb. How do you think life will be? It is tick, 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 tick. The time is passing. And what do you mean by time is passing? Time is closing. It is closing to the time. So a person, if he is put in a car fit with a time bomb and he does not know what's going to happen at any time, he will be a very sober person. And moving forward, he will be more conscious. Time is depleting, like that time watch, the sand dune is falling, dripping, 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 dripping. Let the speed go down. Prabhupada says, similarly, all of us are sitting in this car of ahankar, and there is a time fit. And every year, when we are proceeding, we realize we are moving close to death. Right? Smashana. And that really makes a person sober. A person starts thinking, if it all comes to an end, so what will happen? So in this verse, Krishna, Shukadeva Goswami is speaking about the imperceptible movement of time. Prabhupada gives an example that for a devotee, Kala is like a cat holding a kitten. And for someone who's not a devotee, it is like a cat holding a rat. Right? Have you ever seen a cat playing with a rat? I have seen. When a cat catches a rat, it does not eat it immediately. It plays with it. It closes the door. Because the sound, otherwise I could listen. Already we are distracted. Right? So when a cat catches a rat, it does not immediately devour it. It spends some time with it. Is the rat spending time with cat or cat is spending time with it? Right? So the rat, after catching the rat, the cat leaves the rat. Right? And he says, what's this? I've been gripped into the claws and now I'm left. And when he leaves the rat, the cat with its claw hits the rat brutally and decreases its strength by 20-30%. It wounds him. So now the movement of the rat is going to be 30% less enthusiastic. And again catches it. And then again releases the rat and hits him again and makes it 50 or 40%. And again catches the rat and again leaves him. And by the time the play is becoming, the whole rat is becoming bloody. And at one fine time, slam and devour it. And the factor of time, kala, works exactly like that. Birth, old age, disease and death. Birth is the beginning. And when you released, again it catches you with disease, and you released, you caught with old age, and you released, and the final slam, and it's devoured. That is what the factor of time does to every jiva in this world. Imperceptible. It is so imperceptible that you don't even realize. Like many of you, if you reflect back, 20 years have passed, 30 years have passed, 40 years have passed, 50 years have passed, and if you reflect how long it has been that 50 years have passed, and you'll realize it is just like this. Time has flown. I just remember when I joined ashram 2009 and this 2026. So when when there was a youth camp, and I was just thinking, I was like this at some point of time. Now I'm here, 25 years across, 20 years across. Right? So time is imperceptible. But for a devotee, the cat is holding like a kitten. How does a cat hold a kitten? It also holds it with its teeth. But what is the experience of the cat? Kitten in the mouth of the cat. What is the experience? Affection, shelter and warmth. So the same imperceptible time creates terror in the lives of people. And the same imperceptible time creates hope, fortune, affection, love, care, nurture, nourishment in the lives of a devotee. Right? So this is the first thing we understand, that everybody is experiencing it. The second point here that is being said, that the change of birth, growth, maintenance, byproducts, disease and death, this is actually superfluous to the soul. It means it's not the soul who's experiencing this. This experience is of the body. Just like the moon, waxing of the moon means the moon is becoming bigger and bigger. And the waning means it is becoming smaller and smaller. Now, every day you look at the moon and it becomes big and then small and so many things. But is anything happening to the moon? No. Prabhupada right here, it's written that the reflection of the sun on the moon, that is changing in its phases. There is no change on the moon. There is change in our perception, in how we see it, based on the reflection. So similarly, we are spirit souls, eternal. But our perception of who we think we are, the body, that keeps changing. Material energy keeps changing that conception to so many things. And then when actually it undergoes a transformation, we have an experience because of the identification and because of the attachment. We have an experience. Who can deny disease? Who can deny the experience of old age? Who can deny the experience of birth? And who can deny death? Prabhupada says people may not believe in God. That the Lord comes, Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. Finally, He reveals Himself to every person. Right? So, just like the moon is not affected, we are not affected. So this brings us to a point of understanding that in this world, everybody is experiencing the effect of time, which is constantly creating nervousness. If you study in the Sankhya, when Kapila Muni is speaking or when Lord Krishna will speak to Uddhav, he's going to speak almost like everything that Bhagavatam has in a concepts. If you study that, it says at the time of annihilation, how all the elements, enter into earth, the earth element, then earth element into water, water into fire, fire into air, air into ether, ether into the mind, mind into the ego, and then it comes to the modes of material nature, and then the whole modes of material nature merge into space, merge into avyakta, and then merge into time. They merge ultimately into time, which is the glance of the Lord. And then it merges into Vishnu. Right? The whole Pradhana, Mahat Tattva is inactive when it is there, right? It is the ingredient cause of the whole material existence. But it is inactive. It's only when the Lord glances. See, the glance of the Lord is the time factor. It is the Shambhu Tattva. Obviously, all the subjects are many deeper analytics, but we can understand that the glance of the Lord is the factor of time. And the time activates the modes of material nature. And then the whole thing begins. So literally, time is the stirring rod for the Pradhana. It stirs the whole thing and starts creating movement, which creates our perceptions, which is constantly happening. The modes of material nature create influence, but the factor of time creates the experience. Right? Change is the constant theme of this world because imperceptible time keeps changing every single thing. And change causes nervousness and anxiety. Everybody is fearful because the change can change my situation. So everybody is thinking, kya hoga? Ki hoge? I have made a good investment, I have made a good family, I have made a good relationships, I have made everything, but what if tomorrow the government changes and they don't like me? Or the neighborhood changes, they don't like me. There are so many factors that can change internally in our body, in our mind, in our senses, externally, that change creates a lot of anxiety. And very interesting, the human being, the living entity has a nature of adjusting in whatever situation you put him or put her. Initially they get agitated, but after some time they get adjusted. The living entity is kind of made to adjust in any circumstance. Now if a living entity can be a pig and be comfortable, it can be comfortable in every aspect. But the problem is, by the time you become comfortable, there is a change. Like, now the winter is moving deep. I think it's moving deep or coming out, whatever. It's moving deep. So now we are kind of prepared, we have the socks, we have the sweaters, we have the shawls. We can measure the temperature and wear things accordingly. By the time we have got the control of the weather and we can wear to control the effect of the weather, the whole winter goes to summer. And then initially it will take a lot of agitation. Lao re AC, chalao re fan, nikalo heater ko. And it creates agitation, and again by the time you adjust into the summer by having fixed everything, it starts raining. It starts pouring. Right? So this is only like one factor of time, which is changing the weather. Like this, time is changing every aspect of the whole material creation. And that creates unending absorption. It's like nowadays you see when they make these YouTube shorts or Insta shorts. When they make these shorts, what keeps you absorbing? Change. It's like so someone who is a famous YouTuber, he said, if you really want to keep your audience hooked to you, every 3 seconds, there should be a different invocation. If it is this constant one, people will get bored or they'll get adjusted. So after that, another, what is next? What is next? So if you can create that amazement and keep making a change, people will be hooked to the mobile. And they will not really, and I think most of us have experienced that when we use a phone and watch all this to see how the world has progressed as written in Bhagavatam. Sometimes we want to, observe through the pages of Bhagavatam into the world. And then you see that an hour has passed, second hour has passed, and imperceptibly the time has moved. Why? Because of the change. The factor of time is capable of making that change. And that change. So by the time you adjust to something, something else happens and whole planning of yours disturbs. Right? Maybe you make enough wealth and they say now these notes are not going to work. This currency is not going to work. Your positioning and your election is not going to work. Constantly a person is moving. Like for example, if a person, you're sitting and imagine someone is shaking the platform constantly. Someone is moving it front, moving it behind, moving it this, moving it here. So what do you do if someone is moving your seat? You'll constantly try to fix it. पहले ये हिला, फिर ये हिला इसको लगा, फिर ये हिला इसको लगा, जब तक ये हिला फिर ये हिला. So many movements, you're constantly fixing. So how can a person be peaceful if he's sitting on something which is so unstable and changing? And Gita says, Ashantasya kutha sukham. Somebody who is not feeling stability cannot feel happiness. That's why I was speaking yesterday that to experience a happy new year, first you need to experience some unchanging stability, And then on that platform of stability, you can plan a happy situation. Otherwise, we are constantly fixing situations in life. We are fixing our health. We are fixing our wealth. We are fixing our family's health and wealth. Then we are fixing the society. Somebody is busy fixing you. So you are counteracting. Prabhu says there's constant envy and rivalry in this world. When you keep people in a group of people, there is so much of agitation from your side because you become envious or they become envious and there is rivalry. So envy and rivalryness constantly keeps a person like, I have everything. But I'm feeling very disturbed. Why? Because I become envious of someone who has more. Right? And the one who is envious will get our rivalry. Isn't it? There's one man in London, as you know, Radhanath Maharaj explains this story that this person in London made such a beautiful mansion, such a beautiful, like hundreds of acres and hundreds of acres of a whole farm, and a beautiful, matlab, in the whole world, everything choicest, he made it, and he called all his friends to come and see. His pleasure was to bring friends and make them awe and veneration. That was his program. So all people in the city who were influential came to and saw him, and all of them became so envious and became so burning that they conspired and killed its family because of that envy. They couldn't tolerate the enjoyment of this person. So when there's a constant situation which is tottering, Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala. So how can a person feel stability and how can a person feel happiness? His happiness is if he is able to fix a problem. And by the time he fixes a problem, another problem fixes him. Right? One king one time called his citizens, called people and said, "Give me something that when I see it, if I'm happy, I will become miserable. And if I'm miserable, I will become happy." The Praja said, "That's what you're creating for us." He said, "Give me something that's going to create this experience." Everybody, all the ministers, everybody started thinking, "Arey Raja kuch bhi puchta hai. Theek hai, karna padega." Went searching here, searching there, searching here, searching there, searching here, searching there. And he gave a time frame, you have to do it in this time. Otherwise, I'll execute some people. Because you couldn't execute what I asked. That is the king's way of discipline. So they ran around 24 hours find a thing that, will make the king happy when he's sad and sad when he's happy. And after searching long, they finally found it. What did they find? Some of you may have heard this story. Huh? Yes. So one person gave him a ring, a golden ring. King, he said, "Here you have it." He said, "This will solve your problem." He said, "What?" He said, whenever you're feeling miserable, look at the ring. And in the ring, there was something engraved. What is engraved? This too shall pass. Make sense? Whatever situation you are having, it will go away. So imagine the king is feeling very sad about things not happening, and he says, "Kal badlega. This too shall pass. Let me be patient." He says, yes, he feels hope. He can do it. And then when he's happy, everything is going so wonderful. People are listening to me. What I want is happening. This too shall pass. After some time, people will not listen. People will not respect. This too shall, you feel morose. Right? The factor of time. Chanakya says, Smara Nityam Anityata. How do you become sober in this world? Smara Nityam Anityata. If you always meditate the futility of the material creation by the factor of time, your excitement will go away. Your agitation will go away. You will become sober in the factor of time. So we hear this in this world that how the factor of time is kind of making this situation. Right? So now we would like to say about how to deal with it. We should not conclude our discussion with, highlighting what's happening. But Prabhupada is a person, or the Acharyas are people who are beyond the influence of space and time. And that is why Prabhupada's first book he wrote is Easy Journey to Other Planets. It's kind of the first book about space travel and time travel. Sometimes people make movies about moving ahead in time, moving behind in time, moving ahead in space, moving behind space, whatever. So it's speaking about, and Prabhupada is not speaking about just a space travel to another planet or another place. He's speaking about going beyond space and the effect of time. So confident. So confident, our acharyas. So we have this changing situation, first of all. And what is it that keeps us fixed in this situation of fix? What is it that keeps us fixed in this situation of fix? Like me, even if I do understand what I'm hearing, the effect of time, do I get away from it? No, tomorrow I get a disease, or today I get a disease, and I am like, very bold. He says the what is going to take us out from the fix is our identification. And that is why Bhagavad Gita's knowledge is liberating. Arjuna was in such a deplorable, such a agitating situation. You know, what is Arjuna's plight? Arjuna had to kill those whom he loved. And he had to kill those he loved personally. Someone you love, even if a mosquito bites them, you become disturbed. If there's a little mood change in the ones you love, you get disturbed. Now talk about killing the ones you love. He said, I was talking yesterday, the doctors would not operate on their children, on their family. They may be expert surgeons, but they will not operate on their children or spouses. Why? Because there is so much of attachment and emotions that it's very difficult. They will always get another expert to operate. Right? So identification. Arjuna's situation was so disturbed, almost like a checkmate. You put in a situation against your loved ones. Checkmate. Like one family I recently met. And something happened in the family, a demise of loving children. The whole family became deserted, hopeless, aimless. Right? So it puts us in checkmate situations. And Arjuna, when he spoke to Krishna, the first aspect, or the aspect which Krishna speaks in the beginning and clears it up through the Gita, is the misidentification. First of all, he tells Arjuna, you are not the waxing and the waning moon. Right? You are not the waxing moon or waning moon. You are, the moon. You are not the body that is constantly changing by the phase of time. You are the spirit soul who is experiencing the bodily and mental functions. And the whole Gita is about getting you out from this misidentification and bringing to your original identification that you are eternal servant of Krishna beyond space and time. This is what Krishna is bringing Arjuna to. The whole Karma Yoga is bringing Arjuna, the whole action of Karma Yoga is to bring him out from his misidentification by engaging his senses. The whole Jnana Yoga is engaging his mind to get him out of the influence of his misidentification. Right? It is not the Karma Jnana normal. It is the Karma Jnana leading to his original status of Bhakti. And Bhakti is a direct engagement of the soul. So Krishna is giving Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, and all three functions to moving a person from this misidentification which is creating the agitation to the constitutional identification that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. This is what Krishna is bringing through the knowledge of the Gita. And you see in the pages of Bhagavatam, when Arjuna becomes bewildered after Krishna leaves the planet, he is completely mortified and lamenting. And what does he do? Remember the teachings of the Gita. Yudhishthir Maharaj, in two instances, when Dhritarashtra quits home, he becomes completely agitated, and Narad Muni comes and teaches him Bhagavad, Bhagavad Tattva, this knowledge of the soul and knowledge of this world, which you see in the Bhagavatam. And when Krishna leaves and Arjuna tells Yudhishthir Maharaj that actually, because Yudhishthir was seeing all the omens, and he sees that actually Krishna has left, Yudhishthir becomes completely lamentful, and at that point of time also he remembers the teachings of Gita and becomes pacified. So teachings of Bhagavad Gita creates basic pacification and fixing you into your eternal spiritual identity. You cannot have rasa unless you have stability. The stability comes from Krishna's message. And then you can have Ganam, Natyam. Srimad Bhagavatam will create the Ras, and Chaitanya Charitamrita will create the transcendental dance. Prabhupada has given us Gita, Bhagavad and Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Prabhupada is such an intelligent person. He has made a combi of all the three in every place. You read Gita, you read Bhagavad and CC. You read CC, you read Gita and Bhagavad. And you read Bhagavad, you read everything. So he is a genius. He doesn't wait for people to become intelligent. He gives them what they need to have, like the mother feeding the baby the exact nourishing food. Right? So the first principle is misidentification. We are identifying with the body, we are identifying with the mind, we are identifying with our ego. And ego means the body and mind. Basically, ego is not separate, because ego is what creates the body and mind identification. So this identification of who we think, who we are. And he says, if you work in this world with this consciousness, the verse before this says, you can work like a mediocre. He says, mediocre consciousness is thinking I am the body and working on the functionality of the body. Right? That's why if you want to be yogaha karmashu kaushalam, you cannot be on the bodily plane. You can at best be a mediocre. You can be a mediocre performer if your identification is that of the body. Why? Because a little bodily change on your richness, on your beauty, and on your strength, and on your intelligence immediately will create agitation and deviation of your commitment towards what you're doing. Like Arjuna was committed to fight, and the attachments came the way. He said, we're dropping our career. We're changing our stream. We're going into the jungle and we're going to do bhajan. Right? So it would be mediocre consciousness. So Krishna helps Arjuna understand that you are in the body. You are not the body, but you are in the body. You are not the mind. You are using the faculty of mind. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. A devotee who has knowledge looks at the phenomenon of the factor of time affecting his body and mind separate from his own existence. And that's why he is not disturbed. Because he's seeing himself separate. Right? So Krishna is helping Arjuna get out of that. So we conceptually know what it is, but we'll actually know when you apply Bhakti Yoga, Yukta Vairagya, and the principle of Jnana leading to Bhakti. And that's how you see Prabhupada's design of how we are engaged in Krishna's service, engaging our senses, engaging your mind, and engaging ourselves in Krishna's service. Like chanting Hare Krishna is the soul's engagement directly, because you have to literally, the body is not active so much, I mean, your body is active. And you say, mind, chutti le lo. Take holiday. I want to get in direct touch with Krishna. And you can also be together. Right? That's why chanting is difficult, because it's engaging the spirit self. Engaging body, engaging mind, and engaging your own self. Right? So Mahatma Prabhu made a reflection. To chant Hare Krishna, you should chant in a state of timelessness. You've heard him. One of the things he says is, when you sit to chant, he says, kind of freeze the world, or unplug yourself from the world and go into a state of timelessness. मतलब क्या होगा, होगा कि नहीं होगा, शरीर का क्या होगा, देश का क्या होगा, मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम का क्या होगा, जप का क्या होगा. He said, go into a state of timelessness. And what do you have expectation when you chant Hare Krishna? Krishna, I don't want anything from you. I am not here to achieve anything. I just want to receive your association. He says, go into a state of timelessness and you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it's like engaging your own self. Right? So Krishna is helping to bring you out of the misidentification, to know who you are. But still, the game changer is Krishna's message and Krishna himself. Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha vedeshu durlabham adullabhamadma bhaktav govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha. This guy seems to have tricked time. Who can help me who has helped himself? I don't see anyone has tricked time. Even Brahmaji has not tricked time. Time is ticking on Brahmaji also. But Brahmaji is saying, here is my boss. Adyam Purana Purusham. But Navayovanam, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna was 120 years old, Pardada. And he was Navayovanam, 16, sweet 16. This is Krishna, who is the mover of time, beyond the effect of time. So sure enough, if you want to go beyond space and time, he is the guy you got to get along with. Right? His Adyam Purana Purusham. Prabhupada says, Purana Purusham means the oldest. And what do you mean by the oldest? Oldest means the most experienced. जिसने समय देखा है अतीत से वर्तमान तक, उसका कितना maturity होगा. That's why when Krishna gives you an opinion after seeing you personally for lifetimes, seeing every jiva for lifetime, then he speaks Bhagavad Gita, or he speaks before also. His opinion, we should take it more seriously, because there is no more experienced person than him. जिसने बनाया है, चलाया है, देखा है, सीजन्स देखा है, एक एक एंटिटी का पूरा मूवी देखा. अगर वो कुछ कहे आपको आपके जीवन में, no, we should not have any doubt, because he is Purana Purusham. But he is Navayovanam, ever fresh, ever new. Yadavadi mama cheta Krishna padara vinde Nava Navarasa Ujjatam Antumasi. He says, when I put my mind in the lotus feet of Krishna, newer and newer mellows appear in my heart. And then when I think about engagement in this world, my tongue, spits at that thought. Because obviously Yamunacharya has this realization. But yes, he's telling us how does it happen. If you want to spit at the thought of sense gratification, then you have to do Chetaha Krishna Padara. So Krishna is beyond the space and time. And we studied at the time of annihilation, all the modes of material nature actually merge into time. And the time merges into the Lord. The whole creation gets into the Lord. Right? So time doesn't control everything. Krishna controls time. So if you want to go beyond influence of time, you have to go to someone who influences time. Right? If someone at the state level is not helping you, then you go to the other level who can help control them. So Krishna is beyond space and time. And then the tattva comes, who can go beyond space and time? Or on whom the space and time will not work. And he says, a person who does not have a material desire, who does not have a material desire and wants to enjoy this world, such a person can go beyond. That is one of the factors. But just not that, he should fix with the Supreme Lord and engage in rasa, which is a Goloka, which is a spiritual world, where all are beyond space and time. So, if a person engages manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam imeshwari satyam te pratijani priyosi me, when you meditate on the Supreme Lord, Nama Rupa Guna Leela, with devotion, with no agenda, Ananya Bhakti, you actually go beyond the influence of space and time and the material. We are Kala, Karma, Guna Adhina. We are not only Adhina of Gunas. We are under Karma Adhina and we are Kala Adhina. We are all factors. But Krishna, under him everything is Adhina. So when you engage with Krishna, he can create a situation of beyond Kala Karma Adhina. And that's why Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityacha, Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja. How many? Ekam. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Sara Karma. Moksheshvami, beyond the influence of time. Ma Shuchakam. Only Krishna promises that I'll take you beyond. And he says, what do you need to do that? Manmana bhava mad bhakta. Engage in my loving devotion, which is your original status. Krishna is Swarat, and we are also created Swarat, but we are dependent on Krishna for fulfilling our desires. What does that mean? We are created to love and serve Krishna. हमारी बनावट हुई है कृष्ण के प्रति प्रेम और सेवा के लिए. We are made for Krishna. We are made for loving Krishna. So Prabhupada says, we become happy when we live serving and loving Krishna. That is how we are made. Just like the body is made to breathe oxygen and survive, the soul is made to breathe love for Krishna and survive and feel ecstasy. So when you are with Krishna, who is beyond space and time, and you engage in bhakti yoga, which is being with Krishna, then you go beyond space and time. And that's why Prabhupada said, when I'm going to India, devotees said, Prabhupada, we're going to miss you, we're going to be in separation. Prabhupada said, you chant Hare Krishna and I chant Hare Krishna, we'll be together. And what Prabhupada is referring is much beyond what it is. Right? The import of whatever Prabhupada says has layers of depth. So being with holy name means being with Krishna. And when you're with Krishna, then you're beyond space and time. Then you're with everyone. Right? They are beyond, you're beyond, you're connected. So with Krishna, everything gets unified. Everything becomes approximately. So in the spiritual world, there is time. The time, it does not have this effect the way it is here. Time is there, but it is like the cat holding the kitten. It's not cat holding the rat. Material world is cat holding rat. The factor of time increases. It plays a role under the Purnamasi and Yoga Maya to create rasa. Right? It does not make it nirasa, this word like this. Right? So we can take the import of this verse as we read it that if you really want to go into timelessness and beyond space and experience the actual spiritual rasa, we have to identify ourselves separate from our material identification by taking shelter of Krishna's teachings in the Gita, and then engage in Krishna's devotional service as Krishna is training us through the devotees and through the example. Then we can get into a state of the prophet says here in the inspiration today, a position where you can be in a society of youthfulness and always be joyful. Tatha Ganam Natyam Gamanam Api Vamshi Priyasat. Why do we dance? Because in the spiritual world you're not allowed to walk. As you're trained to be in the spiritual world. Why do you sing? Because in the spiritual world the language is a song. So Prabhupada is training all of us through Mahaprabhu is training all of us to be in Goloka Vrindavan into that affair. So we are very, very grateful to Srila Prabhupada, the Acharyas. They are the ones who are actually opening the doors and the windows and also giving us the access, giving us the training. So we really owe our lives to Prabhupada and all the Acharyas. And we just stay aligned, we just stay sincere and loyal and engage in what has been trained, what is expected. Perfection is guaranteed. To the extent that you go along and take many. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के रियलाइजेशन शेयर करेंगे आज ट्विन प्रभु जी।
So I am seeing that this world is really suffering from lack of knowledge. Once two young 16-year-old boys were passing, very attractive, bright-faced. So I called them, please come. So they came and told me that we are Muslim, we cannot take. I told them at least you read one verse. Then I opened this Bhagavad Gita 5.22. Jehi sansparsya bhoga dukkha yona evatu. So he asked what is this. I explained that you engage in sense gratification, you get miseries. But generally people think opposite. Engaging in sense gratification is happiness. So when they heard it, they told, first time in my life, someone told me this. We never knew this. The whole world is going on this illusion. So that is a great thing you can distribute. And one of my personal experiences is that with whichever devotees I am going to distribute books, my affection for them is increasing so much I have never experienced. Like generally in our ashram, when we see devotees for a long time, we don't talk, we neglect, we keep on doing our work. But now, after coming from book distribution, when we see those devotees, there is a natural affection coming, a smile, natural smile. So that is something beyond my conditioning. I am really experiencing because that is not something of me. Very grateful to Prabhupada for giving us this occupation. Hare Krishna.